In today's episode, we're speaking to Robert Rolih. Robert is an international best-selling author of the book, The Million Dollar Decision, Get Out of the Rigged Game of Investing and Add $1 million to your net worth. Robert was featured in more than 50 media outlets, including Yahoo Finance, Newsmax TV, Bloomberg, and many others. He has had the honor of sharing the stage with people such as Gary Vee, Tracy, Jack Canfield, Deiss, and many, many others. Members of his flagship long-term investing course are constantly outperforming the best Wall Street experts without a short-term trading and without taking excessive risks. Let's speak to Robert and find out how he changed his life by changing his mindset. And if you want to know how you can upgrade your money mindset, then click on the link www.millionairefoundations.com and find out how you and I can speak. See you inside the training. Welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert. And today I'm super excited. I get to bring you one of my mentors. Welcome, Robert Rolih.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming, Robert. I'm super excited to have you here. We've been trying to get you here for a while. Now, Robert, everyone's heard your intro. They know how fabulous you are, but please, in your own words, tell everybody what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm Robert Rolih, the international best-selling author of this book, The Million Dollar Decision. And I'm helping investors outperform the best Wall Street professionals without short-term trading and without taking excessive risks. So simple, long-term investing strategies that work for you, and where you don't give a lot of money to financial industry, but you keep the profits for yourself. This is in short.
Fantastic. And that's one of the programs that I joined for Robert after. We'll talk about that on another episode where I lost a lot of money on various different avenues. Anyway, Robert, that's fantastic. And I know you are helping a lot of people, and I'm one of the many who you've helped. But please tell us, how did it all start for you? You know, you have a very interesting story. Share with us, how did it all begin, and how did Robert really become this amazing superstar? Tell us where it all began for you.
Yeah, my background is very humble. I come from a very small country, Slovenia. This is a country of only 2 million population. When I was young, I was growing up in a very small village, backwater village. My parents never had money, so I always wanted, to become someone, to become wealthy, and so on. When I was a student, I started my company. And after years of hard work, I started to produce a lot of profits, in my business. And at that moment, I didn't know, I knew that I should invest that money, but I didn't know how. I was totally financially illiterate. And that is why I trusted financial advisors and bankers. And I basically gave them all of my business profits year after year. And after years of doing that, I realized that they basically lost most of my money, and I was totally devastated. So that was the start of my financial journey. I started to learn all there is about personal finance and investing. And after approximately 7 years of building my financial muscles, and studying this subject, I finally was able to get back on the track and to start investing very profitably. And then I learned, then I realized that most people are making the same mistakes that I did in my career. So that is why I started to write my book, The Million Dollar Decision. I started to create my online courses and so on and so on. And that is basically my story short.
in a very succinctly told, that's great. But let's unpack a little bit. So I want to dive into your mindset. First of all, how did you go from, in a very humble, poor environment to building a company, at a young age? What gave you that ability, the mental strength to say, I can start a company, I can run it, and then make a success out of it? Let's leave the fact that you lost the profits. I will come on to that afterwards. But the mere fact that you grew up around poverty and you're able to build a company at a young age, I want to know what was going in your mind. How did you overcome your, lack and scarcity mindset?
So the starting point is that you need to have a desire. You need to be hungry. You need to be hungry. And I was very hungry. I was very hungry. I wanted to achieve something. And the second thing that you need to have is skills. You need to learn how to create your own business. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to market your business. You need to learn how to lead your team, and so on. So I remember at the start of my career, when I was still in a student dorm, 1 year in my first year in business, I read more than 300 books.
Wow.
So I read one book per day. I had a lot of time. I was just starting with the business ideas. I was playing around, but I knew that I should get these skills. And I read, like I said, more than 300 books in 1 year. And that was the start of my journey. Of course, I'm not reading, as many books. It doesn't make sense. But
did you do a speed reading course, or how are you able to read a book a day? That's just, unless you do a speed reading course, and then you can, of course.
That's a good question. I was always a good reader because I was a science fiction fan. And I would read all the science fiction books, when I was younger. I really liked them, and that maybe was a reason why I was able to read fast. And also, when you start to read books, you quickly realize that you don't need to read every single page. You can skip things. You can just focus on the important parts and so on. So it was not such a big deal for me at the time.
Yeah. Okay, but that's an amazing task, right? And an amazing amazing ability to be able to have that hunger, and that shows how hungry you were. That if you didn't have the skills, that you didn't let your environment, your circumstances, your upbringing hold you back. You thought, okay, how can I learn these skills? Books can teach me. Let me learn from the books. Because I think that's amazing.
So in the beginning of my career, I didn't have money, because all these books were from public libraries. And I was also working as a student in a company that was doing, like marketing consultancy. And they had quite a lot of marketing and sales books. So I was basically borrowing these books all the time.
I love that, Robert. You say it with a smile and just so on the cuff, but I absolutely love that. I want to really bring this to people's attention. You do not need to let anything, your circumstances, hold you back. The fact that you're not able to afford the books, it didn't hold you back. The fact that you grew up in lack and scarcity didn't hold you back. You had the desire and you were focused on it, and you thought, okay, what am I lacking in the skills? Okay, what can I do? Let me find out. Let me read. I can't afford the books. Let me get it from the library. Let me get it from when I'm working, my office. And you use the tools, resources available to you. Every single person listening to this podcast at the moment has resources available to them, but they, unlike you, they're making excuses as to why they cannot do X, Y, and Z. Whereas you just did it and didn't let anything hold you back.
Today you can. There are no excuses today because you have internet. There is everything available.
Everything available.
You can just learn from YouTube. You can learn from Twitter. You can learn from anywhere. So it's totally free. You just need this hunger in your life, and you can make it. Yeah.
I want to go back to Robert, the young Robert. How was he responding to his people around him? How did you respond to the negativity? Because when you are growing, when you are pushing yourself, and I know this for myself, that people think I'm crazy in my family. When you do something out of the ordinary, people see you as a bit crazy. Like, who do you think you are? And what makes you think you're so special? You're just a dreamer. You're all these slight, they don't have to be, somebody doesn't have to actively discourage you, but these are slight snarky remarks that they can think about you and say to you or behind your back. How did you not let that discourage you? How did you keep your focus and say, okay, I don't care if it could be your mother, your father, your siblings, or your friends. I'm not going to let your words discourage me. How did you keep yourself on track?
So my family, even though they were let's say they were factory workers when I was growing up and so on, but they didn't have any objections about my business endeavors and so on. So I was pretty okay with my family, and I had also I was very lucky that before I started my business, I met my future wife, Sarah. And she was very positive influence in my life, and she was basically also pushing me a little. So I don't know, maybe none of the results that I have now would happen without her, because she was also always a bit, pushing me forward and encouraging me to start to be action oriented and so on. So I have a lot of I have to, say thank you to her. She is a very, very important influence on my life. And, there is a saying, that behind every successful man, there is a successful woman. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I completely agree with, and I'm so glad that, thank you to Sarah for, for helping you, because, you have so many people, including me, but you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that encouragement at the early stages. And that's so crucial. That's so important. I remember listening to a podcast yesterday, I think, and there were these billionaires talking about what's the most important aspect of becoming a billionaire. And the one thing that every single one of them said, is who you choose as your spouse, who you choose as a partner.
That's super.
And in this day and age where women are active, like myself, just as much as men are, it doesn't matter if a man or a woman, you need to choose your spouse very, very carefully, because that's the number one decision that's going to impact your wealth as well as everything else, the happiness as well. But wealth especially.
Also, when you are hiring people, right now I have a very small team, and we don't hire new people because I have a special business model. But in the past, when I was hiring new people, I would always have also a meeting with their spouse.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So whenever you are hiring, you need to see who is this person with. Yeah.
I've never had that, Robert. I've never had anybody else say that to me. I know when like I said, the podcast I listened to yesterday was about billionaires, and these are all billionaires talking, and they all spoke about how important the spouse was. I've never crossed anybody else who suggested something as unique as you, that when you hire someone, check who their spouse is or who their girlfriend or boyfriend is, because that of course, they're going to have a direct impact on their productivity and on who they are. And I really believe that. I think one of the billionaires said this, that if a man or a woman can cheat on their partner and have cheated on the partner, how will they not cheat on you in your business?
Yeah.
It's a relationship at the end of the day. How can they be loyal to you when they haven't been loyal to the one person who's supposed to be in their life, girlfriend or boyfriend or a husband or wife? And I thought, my God, what an important point. And it's so true. And you just added more to it. The fact that even if they are loyal, if depending on the partner, that will have an impact on the business. I've never had anybody say that, but that makes complete sense to me. It does. Yeah. It's so important. Yeah. Well, I think that's amazing fortune. I think that's good luck on from the universe towards you, that you had someone amazing like Sarah to help you. And then you had a family who weren't discouraging you, and you were able to support you in your journey. Then how did this young man feel when all his money was taken? Because I know majority of money of yours was lost by these bankers and these investment bankers. How did that have? What kind of impact did that have on you? And how did you come out of that? Because you could easily have gone and think, oh my God, all my hard work and all my money that I've made through all my hard work has now gone down the drain. Yeah. How did you pick yourself up again?
At first, it was really devastating, and I really felt terrible. I was quite depressed at the time. It was like this spiral when I just couldn't get out. But I was very lucky that I had a couple of very, very important mentors in my life. One of them was Tracy at the time, the personal development legend.
Yes.
We had a couple of seminars with him in my country. So basically, he was our speaker. Okay. For the next seminar that we had with him, I asked him if he can go to dinner with me because I have some financial difficulties and so on. And we talked, and then he gave me a couple of really great ideas. He said, Robert, it doesn't matter how much you earn. All that matters is if you have the skills to manage your money and to invest it. And then I realized that I don't have these skills, and that I need to learn them. So I was very lucky that I had a couple of really, really good friends and mentors that influenced me at that low moment in time for me. So it was maybe a bit of a luck, maybe a bit of the good work that I did before that, and so on. Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, I think I think that's great, and I love. I'm gonna unpack something else. You say these amazing things, and you just say as a matter of fact. I want to bring it to people's attention. So when you are in difficult situations, I think first recognize it and stop fighting it. Stop, believe, accept the status quo. Accept things as they are. This is the situation. Stop fighting the circumstances at hand, and accept for what it is. The next thing is, okay, what can I do, to get out from here? And if you can't find a way, seek out mentors. And this is what you did.
This is super.
And I think at times we really are lost. I mean, we only know so much. If we don't know what we don't know, we don't know what we don't know. And when you speak to mentors, that knowledge that you're not even aware of can be brought to you. Like, for example, the fact that you just found out from Brian Tracy was about investing and making sure that you manage your money. It's not about how much money you make, is how you invest it, how you save it, how you grow it. It's it's a skill, and that's a skill set on its own, by the way. Making money is one thing, and investing money and creating wealth is another skill altogether, I should know. So for that reason, you seek out mentors, and but for the universe to bring the right people into your life, you must have to ask. You should, surely there must be something in you would say, universe, bring me the right mentor. So how did you ask the universe? How did he, because I don't believe in luck. I think you create your luck by, being in the right mindset. So how were you able to, go step back and say, okay, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Or you're like, I need a mentor, bring me a mentor. What did you do? What did you mentally, do you remember doing, or speaking to the universe or universal energy and asking for some help?
Yeah, having mentors, I think this is one of the most important aspects of our lives. I can basically tell that like 99% of my success is because of good mentors that I had in my past. Brian Tracy was my first big, let's say big name mentor. Then I had Andy Harrington for public speaking. Without Andy Harrington, I would never be able to go out of Slovenia with my seminars and later webinars. Whenever I was stuck in my life, I always tried to, join a course, go to a workshop, try different things, and then something worked. You couldn't know from the start, or in advance which thing will work, but you need to try maybe several things. And one of them will work. And maybe, if you try maybe 3 or 4 mentors, one will be the key to your success or something like this. So you need to try, you need to be exposed to, let's say, luck. Luck is not something that comes into your life, but you need to seek it out very aggressively. So if you try more things, you will be more lucky.
I love that. I think there's a quote by Michael Jordan, who said the reason why he's scored the most touchdowns or so forth is because he's failed the most. And he goes, the reason why I'm so lucky is because I've failed the most, I've tried the most. So the more you try, the more lucky you get. And that's exactly it. In life, you have to try a number of things. I think every entrepreneur has failed on a number of ventures before they got to one they've succeeded at. And I've got a number of my companies that do really, really well now, but oh my God, did I fail? And I failed miserably in a number of ways. In investing too, and until I sort of came across to you and one other, I lost a lot of money on various things. And even though I'm very intelligent, I'm very good at numbers, and I'm very good in money mindset, it's not like I'm pushing money away. I just fell into the trap, which we'll talk about later on, about not knowing what to do and just following what the hype that's sold to you by some mentors, and they about day investing and so forth. But you do need to seek out various mentors, because not everyone's going to resonate with you, not everyone's message is going to help you, but there will be people out there who've been there, done that, who can help you. And I think this is the difference between people who achieve and create their luck and those who sit there and make excuses. Go out and seek mentors if you don't have the knowledge. Then how did you had this business, you made the money, and then you completely immersed yourself in learning about investing? How did you go about learning about investing? What did you start with?
Again, books. I started with books. I read a lot of books. Like in the next 6 or 7 years, I read more than 300 books on investing, but it was not in 1 year like, like before about business, but it was like in 7 years. I also attended a lot of seminars, workshops, and I talked with a lot of financial industry insiders to really understand how the financial industry is operating.
And then what led you to actually building the course? Because that's how I became familiar with you, through one of your programs. How did you think, and how did you feel that this was my calling? Because you are very, very good at what you do. How did you feel like, okay, I need to help these people and I need to help them with understanding about investments? What made you think that, you know, coaching or this kind of area was the area for you?
So at the start, I didn't know about that, but my career, I was always public speaker,
Right.
but only locally in Slovenia, in a very small market. And at first, you know, I started my own. My first business was we were website developers, so we were developing websites. And then I learned a lot about online marketing and selling and so on in that business. And then I started to conduct my own workshops about selling, about marketing. And it was teaching people about personal finance and investing was just the next step. You know,
Right.
when I learned all this stuff, it was like a no-brainer for me to start teaching people about this topic.
So it seems like almost that you would, you know, the universe was sort of taking you down a path to come to here. Isn't that funny? When you look back at your life, you know, these random instances you think all end up coming so perfectly aligned to where you are and lead down to your path. Because when I look at you, I think your passion when you're teaching, when you're sending out those those notifications by emails and those videos you make, you're very clear about, okay, we're doing this is where we are, and it's very, very clear to me as I'm a novice, I'm not an expert at all. Okay, this is where the market is, this is the potential, so this could happen, this could happen, or this could happen. I think probability is here, and it's very clear. That's what I'm saying. It's very, very clear, and I can see that you're naturally a very, very good teacher. But it for me to think of when you first went, especially when I was looking at reading through your book and your life story, it's very difficult to imagine that little boy in Slovenia growing up to becoming this amazing financial teacher. But when you look at your life, it seems everything was just designed to give you the skills to be where you are right now. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's very funny. And one thing that is maybe one of my strong points is that I am able to translate this very technical financial jargon into something that people can understand.
Yes.
So this is something that I'm very good at, and a lot of people, you know, are telling me, "Oh, this is finally something simple, finally something that I can understand," because most people who are in this niche come from financial industry. And I don't come from the financial industry. I'm, let's say, outsider. So I can still understand how regular people, everyday people, how they feel about this topic. And they are a bit afraid of everything. So that is why I try to really translate this technical talk, you know, into something that people can really clearly understand.
And I really appreciate that, because I think as much as I like numbers and graphs and charts and so forth, it's nice to get a clear, succinct answer. Okay, this is what we're looking at, and that's the probability. Nothing's definite, of course. This world is nothing's definite, but the probability, and it's usually, you know, towards higher, low probability, which is obviously, but investing is all probabilities. There's nothing certain in there at all. I want to just pick up one last thing. You just said that you're an industry outsider, which you are. So did you ever at any point in time think of, did the imposter syndrome come and attack you? Like, who are you to be teaching this to people, and whatever? Because even though people can be really, really qualified, imposter syndrome can come and attack anyone. Were you ever drawn by, or attacked by the imposter syndrome?
Yeah, in the start, in the start, when you don't have the confidence and when you don't have the track record, you have doubts. But later, when you have some kind of track record and you see that you are helping people, it's much easier. But in the beginning, it's always a problem.
Yeah. I think there's a saying by Alex Hormozi that he says that, you know, you replace doubt by action, and the more action you take, the more things you do, the more certainty you will get, and that's how you attack it. But it's great. I think it's important to remember. And the reason why I bring this to people's attention is we're talking about investing for you, and you've done really, really well, and you've got a large following, and that's wonderful. But I think anybody who's starting, it doesn't matter where they are, because a lot of people listen to this, either are still in the corporate world, or they have transitioned from the corporate world, or are now, are doing both, and working the day job and having the side hustle. But the doubt still comes and sort of attacks them, because, you know, can I do this? Can I make a success out of it? Will I do this? Will people listen to me? And they could have very successful careers elsewhere, but when it comes to doing this, you know, this passion project or the side hustle or the business that they've been thinking about for the last 5-10 years, that's when the doubt creeps in and that they hold themselves back. And I want to bring to people's attention, doesn't matter how successful, you know, Robert may seem, you also suffered from doubt. You also went through the same, you know, emotions that they may be experiencing right now, but once you overcome them, you can do amazing things and help amazing people. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up, Robert. Robert, give any parting comments or any parting advice to somebody who is thinking of moving away from their day job or their current business and wants to move into the more of their passion project, something they really enjoy. Because I know this is a passion for you. I know you really, really love what you do. What advice would you have for someone like that who's thinking, can I do it? Should I do it? What can I do? How do I start?
Yeah, maybe my best advice would be to start learning about sales and marketing from the start. Even if you still have your job, you know, and you want to start your own business, maybe in a year or two, start learning about selling and marketing right away, because these are the key skills. You know, if you start your own business and you don't know how to sell, you don't know how to market yourself, you will always struggle. Okay, even if you are amazingly good at what you do, you will still struggle because you don't know how to sell whatever you have. So it really helped me in my business when I learned how to sell and how to do marketing for my business. That was really a game changer for me. So yeah, this would be maybe my guideline, you know, for people who are thinking about starting on their own.
Wonderful. So Robert, tell everyone, where can we find you? How can we connect with you on the internet?
Yeah, so you can just Google Robert Rolih, or you can Google the name of my book, The $1 Million Decision. And then you will get to my website or the book website and so on, so you can start from there. I also have a free newsletter on my website, so you can subscribe there. And from time to time, like every couple of weeks, I send out an article or some good advice about investing, making money, and so on.
Wonderful. So if you are listening to us on podcast, then the links for Robert will be in the show notes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then down below in the description section, we have all the links to Robert, and we'll put on there all his social media handles as well. So do go and connect with him. I can vouch for him firsthand. I am one of his students. I've been with him since 2021, and he's sort of guided us through, especially with crypto up and down. So we follow that uneasy curve of 2021 and 2022. So I can tell you for sure that he is amazing, and he's an expert in his own right. Thank you so much for being a guest today, Robert. We have to have you back on Money Talkies, but today has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much. It was an honor to be here. Thank you.
And thank you for listening to me today on Friday Feature. I will be back with another amazing guest, finding out how they change their life by changing their mindset. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.